All right, now what would a foundation module be like if I didn't include a primer to systems and delegation? This is so important. That's the whole reason that you're inside Hello Process is to get systems in your business and systemize your operations and have people doing the work for you. And so what I'm going to show you is how I use the systems that I provided to you and how I delegate. And that way you can start to do this in your business. But I want to give you a framework to be thinking about and to work from so that you can do this correctly and avoid the mistakes that I made. So we're going to cover the lens I look through when I start to delegate work, and then also how to avoid this most common mistake that I ever made and a lot of entrepreneurs make when they give work away. So let's talk about systems real quick. All right, the whole point of you having systems is for your team to perform your processes, and everything about your systems needs to be aligned with that goal. And I mean, how you create them, how they are structured, where they, how employees access them and consume them, all needs to be aligned with that goal. And so you need to make them, at least the majority of them, like the core of your business processes need to be newbie friendly, meaning somebody cannot be familiar with that work and start doing that work just by reading your documents or watching your videos. And it needs to be scannable. It needs to be easily consumable. And that allows experienced employees to come back to that system when they have questions. Maybe they haven't done it in about a month or so, and find the answers that they need to do that work properly without, one, messing it up and you having to fix it, but two, without having to ask you unnecessary questions, questions that they should have the answers to because it's in the system. And for that reason, we use written systems. Not to say we don't use video, but we use written systems as the backbone. Now, the downside of video is it's not scannable. You can't really change the video once you make it, unlike a document. And most importantly, the real reason that we don't use it as the primary way to give people an overview of the work is that you can't find the answers that you need quickly. Once you make a video and somebody watches it, there's the chances of them actually watching that video again are low, very low, I have found. So make a document and include video as a supplement, not the main course. Okay, now this is the lens that I look through when I give work away. It is called the Delegation Triangle, and basically there's only three things you can delegate. We're talking task, decisions, or outcomes. That's it. And your whole entire world, as far as your Amazon business, is found on this triangle. And so your employees need to have the skill level to be able to do what it is that you want them to do, right? And by looking at it this way, you can see that there's certain things that you're going to be giving away that require decisions, decision-making skills, or so you can delegate somebody to perform an outcome for you without you giving them any other instructions. But the downside of that is it takes more skill on the part of your employee to be able to perform that. So think about this. Let's think about outcomes, the pinnacle of this triangle. If you were to say to a new hire, like a new Filipino, hey, the next 90 days we're going to source 15 different products and we're going to increase our revenue by $100,000 in 90 days. Now go do it. Like, how preposterous would that be? Because they have no experience, probably, and you didn't give them any support. That's an example of trying to delegate an outcome way too early. Now, your business partner, on the other hand, is a different story. You can tell your business partner, hey, over the next 90 days, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and you're responsible for A, B, and C. All right, great. Break, let's go do it. Because your business partner is a highly skilled employee of the company, as highly skilled as you are. So when you start looking at what what work you're going to give away, just think about the decisions people are going to have to make, and if that person that you hire to do the work has the capability to make those decisions. So the bottom of the triangle are tasks. These are simple, repeatable processes that almost anybody can do as long as you provide them the framework. But it gets harder to make decisions. So if they move up the triangle, it gets harder each step. And that's what I want you to see. Super simple. Just understand, the kind of work that you're giving away. And what I want you to do is ask yourself, basically, when you give away work or when you're thinking about giving away work, and you're looking at somebody to hire. So either you have somebody that you're going to give away work to, or you're looking to hire somebody, and you have work in mind to give that person that takes this position. How much decision making is involved in that? And am I going to be delegating outcomes, or am I going to be delegating a lot of decisions? Because that person that's doing the work has to have that skill set, and a lot of people don't. And so somebody that can only perform tasks, only do simple, repeatable processes over and over and over that totally screw things up once they have to start making decisions, they can only be so helpful, like very little helpful. They're like a third of this triangle. And if you take that into consideration, if you hire good quality work, or good quality help rather, that can handle outcomes for you, for instance, or somebody that's higher quality that can handle a lot more decisions, they can get more of your work done because they cover more of the triangle. So just keep that in mind as you hire somebody, and when you give away work to whoever it is you already have hired. Now, delegation frustration comes from mismatching the skill level to your objective. And so the thing about this, like the lower level, we talked about our tasks. They're simple, they're repeatable, they're just simply work that somebody can follow directions to. If you have good written instructions, you can almost hire anybody to do that stuff, almost. But it gets a little bit harder once you go up one rung of this delegation triangle, because now we have decisions to make, and you really, really need good video or good written instructions for that. You need good, decision-making guidelines for that part. And video is definitely good there, but use it to supplement. And then the higher level stuff, the outcomes, man, that's so highly nuanced and subjective, and it requires delicate handling. Like, you don't give that stuff away until you know that person is ready. And this is why a lot of people get stuck, by the way, thinking that they can't delegate work, or that they have 4 or 5 employees working for them, but they still don't feel like they can get any work done because they don't have anybody, honestly, to be able to do this highly nuanced stuff. They're the only one doing it. But, what if you hired somebody that's good, that's intelligent, that has a good attitude, that will learn how to do this stuff for you the way you want it to be done? Then you can free yourself up. So I'm trying to beat this point home. Like, I might be killing this horse. I might be beating this horse dead with a stick here, but let's keep going. Match the employee to your objective. So lower skill workers can only handle repetitive tasks. Just understand that and accept it. It's just a fact of life. Some people can't do certain things, and maybe their lot in life is to do simple repetitive tasks. And just know that going in. And that's the only kind of work you need to give them. Higher skill workers can handle decision making, and you can help them by giving them decision making guidelines, which we include, by the way, in a lot of the processes in Hello Process. And then higher skilled workers can manage outcomes for you, which is, man, that's just flipping awesome when that happens. So here are some tasks in your business. Can you spot the repetitive ones? There's a hint. They're on the left side of the screen, and they have arrows. This is the simple stuff. Customer service can be literally red light, green light. If somebody says something like this, here's the script you give them, and that's what you do. If then, or if this, then that. Review management, feedback removal, all this stuff's super simple. But once you start moving into the middle and the right column here, everything gets more subjective and requires more decision. Sponsored ads requires tons of decision. Launching products require lots of decisions. Sourcing products and optimizing listings and dealing with seller support, all of that is very subjective and highly nuanced. So the delegation triangle, if you were to think about this when you hire your next person, you would probably try to hire the most highly qualified person, at least high skill. Maybe not qualified is kind of a subjective word because this is an Amazon business and not many people have experience doing it, but somebody that's good at figuring things out and that are highly accountable can probably handle outcomes for you and do more work than somebody that is what I call a human robot, that is just a task-oriented individual that just does what you tell them to do and will not do anything more and will not deviate from what you told them. They have their place in your business, but again, they're only going to be so useful, not fully useful. So how do you free up more of your time? The answer is very simple. I just gave it to you. Hire very high-level team members, or at least hire the highest level team member that you can afford. Trust me, it'll pay you back. And hire somebody that's, close to you. What I mean by that is, I'm in North America. I like hiring North Americans. If you're in the UK, hire somebody in the UK, right? If you are in Australia, hire somebody in Australia and maybe even New Zealand, because you guys have the same kind of culture, right? That's the whole point, is it's easy to communicate. Time zones are the same. It's not like you're speaking to a completely foreign and opposite culture. There's a place for that, but not when you start to hire. What I recommend is, people that directly report to you, make sure they're local, meaning same continent, that are that's easy to communicate with, and they're high quality, high high octane, just awesome employees. Yes, you pay a little bit more for them. You pay a lot more for them compared to a $4 an hour Filipino. But my $20 an hour employee literally replaced 3 Filipino employees, and I get more work done with her. So it's how, anyway, that's what I do. That's what I recommend you do. And then the last thing you want to do when you start giving away work is match the skill to the objective you're trying to accomplish. So always think about the delegation triangle when you give work away, and definitely when you're going to hire somebody. Think about who it is you want to hire. Sometimes if you're just looking for these types of repetitive tasks, it's okay to go to the Philippines. But if you're trying to get work off your plate and trying to replace yourself, Philippines is the last place you want to go for that. Just saying. All right, anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.